So Lorenzo, you talked about something really interesting today, and that's why I wanted to hit the record button. You saw something very interesting with Dyson. So why don't you tell us what you saw?
Yeah, so yesterday I was going down one of my very common rabbit holes that I almost go down almost every day. And I ended up on Dyson's website, and I actually saw like a hello bar on the top of the site promoting a live demonstration of one of the products. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like something I've never seen any e-commerce doing, right? So I click through, and there was a landing page all dedicated with the kind of like a timer, all dedicated, with all dedicated to selling the concept of, hey, we're about to start a live demonstration on how to use one of the products that Dyson sells, and I was like, these guys are super genius because you and I, like, you would have reacted in the same way because you and I both know how important it is for Dyson to demonstrate their product.
Yeah, I think it's and I know you shared this with me earlier. Even Amazon does this, obviously. You've also mentioned to
Yep.
me that in certain countries, regions like in Asia, like Thailand and China, this format is very popular. I don't see enough of it in the US, right? But if you think about it, we have our own version, right? QVC. What is QVC? That's exactly that, right? So I just think it's a very interesting idea, and I don't ever see like you and I are spending so much time thinking about e-commerce, talking to online retailers. I don't think this has ever come up in a discussion. And I think there's a huge opportunity here. Like when you were telling me about Dyson, the first thought I had was, I was like, well, Dyson is a big recognizable brand. So people, are going to the website pretty regularly. So this kind of makes sense. Would it apply for a small e-commerce business that does like $2 million in sales? And I realized that, wait a minute, it actually does. So the way I kind of think about it is that you have two groups of people that have come to your website. There are people that came to the website and they pulled out their credit card and made a purchase. So forget those people. Then you have everyone else who didn't make a purchase. And from within the group of people that didn't make a purchase, maybe like 10, maybe 7% of them, were interested enough to give up their email address. If you really think about commitment, credit card is a level of commitment.
Yep.
An email address is also a level of commitment, but it's a lower level of commitment. And what signal do we get as a marketer when I look at two lists? I look at credit card transactions and I look at email lists. What is the signal? The signal to me is that the person who gave their credit card needs no more convincing. The person who gave their email address is telling me through their behavior, I need more convincing. And so I think this Dyson
Mm.
idea could be adapt this whole live demonstration idea. And again, this should not be a foreign concept. In the US, I don't know how popular Tupperware is as a brand in Europe, but in the US,
Mhm.
like, and cosmetic brands did this for years, 50 years. They would have these little house parties where you would have a person who is an expert who on the product is an ambassador. She would then have a lunch party with her friends or his friends or whatever, and they would literally like put the lipstick on and show how to use Tupperware containers. It really makes a big difference. So it's not like a foreign concept. I think the web is simply a device through which we are doing these things. And so these are all old concepts. So to me, I can imagine a scenario where you could have like almost like I'm thinking like a welcome email series where the first few emails are nudging you to make a purchase. People who get to the
Mhm.
final nudge email and still don't convert, you send them a sixth email. And the sixth email is like, hey, we're putting together a webinar and we're going to, or an event, and put in your calendar. Here's a link to add it to your calendar. And so what do you think about this idea?
I think this is very clever. I've seen this is like common tactic in the SaaS industry or in digital products industry. I've never seen any commerce doing that. I think this is genius. The reason why I mean, what convinced me the most as soon as I saw Dyson's landing page that was talking about this was I looked up how much revenue QVC had in 2021. It was $11 billion with a B, Rishi. So that means that's a strong signal that tells me only one thing: this approach
Works.
works, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
no, I think you're right. Now,
Go, go.
I actually want for the people that are listening to this in the comment section to drop a comment for maybe we're overlooking something. Maybe there is something that we haven't considered. So tell us in the comment section. Also, I should mention very quickly, if you're here seeing this video for the very first time, Lorenzo and I actually talk about this stuff all day long. We record our ideas, we put it up on YouTube. If you are a marketer who is interested in buyer psychology and digital techniques, subscribe to our channel. So anyway, Lorenzo, please proceed with what else you wanted to
I
add
have a
about
question. I have a question, Rishi. Yeah, I have a question, Rishi. Do you think, live, I call this live selling or live demonstration of a product. Do you think it only works for products like, the stuff that Amazon sells, like a Hoover or, a hair cleaner or, something that kind of like technical products that require, like, would this work for a freaking mug? Like, if I'm an e-commerce that sells mugs, would this technique, like, would this channel work for me?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the answer from in my view is yes. Unless your conversion rates are 100%, what this is telling us is that there is a certain percentage of people that have resistance, and within that group of resistance, some people can be persuaded, and some people can't be persuaded. If I look at QVC sells mugs all day long too. So clearly demonstrate. So the thing is that you have to understand there are two drivers at a subconscious level for the consumer. One is the actual benefit of seeing a vacuum cleaner clean to get that confirmation, right? But the other driver is human connection. Like there is something about, it's really interesting. A lot of times clients have told me that there is a lot of people that complete purchases on their website, but they do it by calling customer service. And literally the customer service person has to then ask them for their credit card. It's more of a pain in the ass for the customer and for the business. But the only reason it works is because when there is something psychological about, okay, I've talked to an actual human being, right? Versus playing. So there are these deep, psychological forces at play. Now, I think this is one of the other things that satisfies that, okay, I'm seeing an actual human being show me how the product is working. So it probably must be a good product. And so I think that's the other driver.
I want to say one more thing and build on top of this. I actually think that it's even more interesting. So obviously, my focus is on CRO, and as CRO, I'm super thirsty.
What is? Can you just tell me what? Can you just explain? Can you just give the full form of CRO?
Yeah, CRO stands for conversion rate optimization. So improving the website in order to improve conversion rate of the e-commerce. But as a CRO person, I'm extremely curious. Like I'm very thirsty for knowledge, new things, right? And here's what I'm gonna give you a confession that about something I've done in the past. So, I think I'm a sucker for like QVC, and I know you are a sucker for QVC as well. But what I'm a sucker for about QVC is not the way they sell stuff like, Hoovers or, body lotion or shit like that, but it's more commodities products, right? Like I've watched a lot of infomercials on QVC how they go about selling a mug, right? Because a mug is almost like a commodity. Like how do you go about selling this? For me, it's like I want to see how the experts like QVC, which is a company that has been doing this for years, is going about selling this mug.
Yeah. No, this another point I want to make is, one of the questions that I ask clients always is that, whenever they say that, like, I ask them, what's your conversion rate? They say, a conversion rate is like, we're very happy with it. It's at 4%. I always ask them, like, do you guys ever go to trade shows? They're like, oh yeah, we go all the time where they have a booth. And I say, how many people do you convert in a trade show? Oh, I convert like 60% of people that I talk to. And so my point is that, okay, well, if you're converting 60% of people, why is the 4% conversion rate good? And I think when you demonstrate, like, the video format of like, having a live stream, it's so powerful. And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing I would say is that think about the feedback you're collecting as well. Because when you're doing a webinar, people are writing comments, people are saying like, hey, this is not, like you're getting real-time feedback. So in a way, it's a win-win. To me, it's the ultimate validation of how good you are at selling, is to actually do these things. So yeah.
Well, if you think about, I'm gonna add last thing. If you think about the concept of like a YouTube video that reviews a product, right? It's not like live stream where you're selling a product, you're demonstrating the product, but it's very similar. It's very, very similar. So one of the things that I do in my day-to-day is I want to learn about a product by the way the YouTuber is selling that product, right? So if you ever go on YouTube and you're working with a client and they're like, okay, I want to see how, the top YouTube influencers within this niche, they go about reviewing the product, how they talk about different things, but the way they talk about different things is also the way they sell those products, right? So for me, a YouTube is a similar format to live stream. It's just not live. That's
right. No, I totally agree. I think the bottom line from the takeaway for anyone watching this episode is that I think we use two tools in our toolbox. One is we use copywriting we use written words on the page. And then the other one is we use video, which is a pre-canned recorded video. I think let's not forget the power of actually doing a live event. And it could be a webinar, it could be a whole different bunch. And by the way, I noticed that a lot of like health supplement brands are actually pretty good at this. I've seen some examples where they actually have like every month. And I believe like I've noticed some retailers also do this, where they'll kind of have like every month, and SaaS businesses for sure do this, right? When you go to the website, they'll say, hey, here's our calendar of open slots.
Yep.
And I think it's actually a genius micro conversion, because I come to a website, I'm not willing to give you my credit card information, and now the only choice I have is to leave the website. But what if on the product page itself, there's a way to like, hey, we'll be doing a live, here's our calendar, here is when we'll do a live event. I think a lot of people will be more willing to sign up for that live event. So you might actually get a lot, so I just feel it's a great conversion tool,
Totally.
So totally. Awesome. Great cool. Chat, buddy.